Calling back to like when you returned to the WWE, what led to you challenging her on NXT? Like why wasn't it to the main roster? Why did you decide to go challenge Asuka in NXT?
Um, Again, it felt like a really great opportunity. I felt that at 2017, I was in such a weird, not crossroads, but I was like, I still feel so young, but I'm also a brand new mom. I'm trying to, do a good job at that. That's always number one, going like, am I doing a good job here? Am I being a good mom? But also, I was like, am I going to keep wrestling? At that time, I wasn't really signed anywhere. I was just doing conventions, but also we had just moved to Florida and I kind of thought I was done wrestling. And then Hunter called me with this opportunity to go to NXT for a one-off to wrestle Asuka. And we were actually back in England. We were in London when I accepted, we were on our way to visit his family. We were going out there for a week. So it's literally um on my way there. And I was like, this is so cool. It's so weird how life works out sometimes, like in these moments of like, oh God, what is happening? Or like, what's next? Or this limbo space like this. Sometimes it things just present themselves. And I was like, you know what? I think this would be really cool. This is a different audience. I would love to wrestle her because she's incredible and she's and I think it'll challenge me and maybe it'll remind the audience of who I am, because I thought that they really hadn't seen me in so long, and after I left WWE that first time, I felt like the hardcore country stuff with Impact was an amazing, I think, body of work for me, and amazing journey for me, and like, after leaving the system and still being successful, if almost not, more successful, I think, than people ever anticipated, uh in a time when that was like, there wasn't a lot of options to go out there. I mean, WCW wasn't there anymore. So like Impact was really the other option and the cool thing. And I was like, it was so cool to be able to create that character and do all that. And so I don't know. And then yeah, I was like, hell sure. And so that's why even that promo, when you go back and you watch that promo, it's literally in the garden of Nick's parents' house because I'm like, oh my God, I have to film this. They want this video of like this promo. I said, and me, artistic me, right? Because I'm always thinking, what can I do that's different or whatever? And I'm like, and his mom's space, beautiful home. It's very classic English. And so I was trying to make it not obvious that I was in England at the moment as
Yeah,
well. But um, yeah. So we ended up shooting it in her garden. And
that's so
yeah.
cool.
So like I'm in front of this big beautiful bush and I like turn around and I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, like I remember watching it. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like Mickie James versus Asuka. That's a crazy
it's
match I never
crazy.
even thought about before. But it was a great
Well,
match.
and I think too that a lot of people, I don't think that people knew what to expect in that match. And I wanted to prove to myself that I still could go and I'm as good as this new generation. And I also wanted to keep, because I think you have a certain responsibility for the generation that you come from and you're representing them. And I think that I've been really blessed to have such a long career, especially as a female when it's unheard of. There's very few that have had the career, be able to wrestle and do different and wrestle for different companies and do all of this. But you're representing your generation in that sense of like, I didn't wanna shit the bed, I wanted it to be awesome, and I wanted to give her an incredible match and maybe a different match that she wasn't going to have anywhere else, and maybe do some nostalgia stuff, but also, uh, I had never wrestled anyone like her because I never got to go to Japan. I'd never, so the language barrier and all of that, the only time I had really experienced that was, um, with Lucho or, wrestling with AAA people. So I never really had experienced that part either. It was just incredible, and she's so good, and I think our chemistry was really amazing, and, I was so grateful for the feedback from the match and how with it the crowd was when I came out. I didn't expect that kind of reaction when I went in very, like, small. I went in very small and kinda humble, and then, that's just I tend to do that a lot, and that's to a fault. But I left. I remember after that match, just like feeling like, oh my God, that was awesome. Like it just reminded me and reinvigorated me in so many ways. But also I felt um validated in a sense of like, yeah, like I am awesome,
You
actually.
are, of course. I mean,
Thanks.
and like that entire second run proved it. I mean, you didn't lose a
Yeah.
ring at
Well,
all.
and I think that had that match gone in differently, had the reaction been different or any of that, I don't know that I would have been, because pretty much after that, Hunter called me back and he's like, "Yeah, we want to bring you back full time." And I'm like, what do you full time, or maybe just like TV full time? Because I'm new mom, right? I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, what is
stuff
this?
to do.
What does this schedule look like? But yeah, no, he's like, oh, pretty full time, I think, maybe. And I'm like, you know what? Hell yeah, because you can't, like, when you get an opportunity, you just gotta
Gotta take it.
go for it, and I'm like, I was just praying for the best. I'm like, "Yeah, you know what? I wasn't happy with the way it ended on the first term, and I felt like I had so much more to prove and so much more to do, and now with the landscape that it is, and women, being, like, elevated, and really this word, the equalness across the board of opportunity, of everything, the structure and everything." I was like, "There's like, to be, if I can be a part of the industry in this level now, that all this work that we did to get to here, and
Yeah.
now if I have, like, hell yeah, let's go."
We going up like 1,000. I'ma flex just like a muscle man Malcolm. We going up like 1,000. I'ma flex just like a muscle man Malcolm. When it just like 1, 2, 3. If you like the channel, this will squeeze. If you like the channel, this will squeeze. If you like the channel, this will squeeze. Hey.